Captain Rachel Kain had been in Delta Force for 6 years, and she had never begged. She hadn't begged during Bud S, not during that terrible Hell Week, in the freezing ocean, shivering, dying from hunger and sleep deprivation. She hadn't rung the bell. She hadn't begged. In Afghanistan, after that car bomb, she'd walked 3 kilometers with shrapnel in her leg. She hadn't begged. In Iraq, during that hostage rescue operation, she'd been shot in the shoulder. She'd completed the mission. She hadn't begged. But now, in this dark room, her hands chained to the ceiling, her feet 20 centimeters off the ground, her body in this position for 9 hours. The technique was called strapado, medieval torture. Rachel, for the first time in her life, thought about begging. Beg, said the man. His name was Dmitri, former Russian Spetsnaz, now private sector, meaning torturer for hire. Beg me. Say, please let me down, and I'll let you down before your arms break. Rachel looked at him, her eyes blurred with pain. 9 hours, hands purple, arms numb, shoulders about to dislocate, and Dmitri was smiling because he knew everyone breaks. It's just a matter of time. But there was something Dmitri didn't know. Rachel Kain was the wife of a Delta Force operator killed by hired torturers, and Rachel hadn't come here to give information. Rachel had come here for revenge, and to get revenge, first you had to beg. So Rachel opened her lips, her voice raspy, weak, convincing. Please. Dmitri leaned forward, smiling. Yes? Please, let me down. Dmitri laughed triumphantly. Finally, America's super soldier, begging. And he reached to unlock Rachel's chains. That's when Rachel knew. The game was beginning. And Dmitri had 4 minutes and 17 seconds left to live. Before we continue, drop a comment telling us where you're watching from. And don't forget to subscribe, because what you're about to see, how a woman tortured for 9 hours killed 3 men in 4 minutes and brought down an organization. This isn't a revenge story. This is a lesson. Never make a Delta Force operator beg. Rachel Kain's husband, Major Jacob Kain, had been killed 3 months ago. Officially, training accident, parachute malfunction. Unofficially, Rachel knew it was a lie because Jacob had been a parachutist for 15 years, 847 jumps, 0 accidents. And 2 days before Jacob's last mission, he'd sent Rachel a USB drive with a note. Rach, if something happens to me, open this and be careful. They're very dangerous. When Rachel opened the USB, she saw File, Black Winter, Jacob's notes. Classified operation, but not because the operation wasn't in NATO files. Black Winter, special operation, target, capture high-value terrorists. But the truth, they weren't capturing terrorists. They were killing them, and then selling their bodies to a private company. Which company? Grey Falcon Security. Why? Organs, identity, passports, fake death certificates. Terrorist organizations thought their leaders were dead, but the leaders continued living with new identities under Grey Falcon's protection. Price, $5 million per terrorist. Jacob had discovered this. He'd wanted to report it, and he'd been killed. When Rachel read the file, she knew official channels won't work because Grey Falcon had people inside NATO. High level, Rachel was alone, and she needed revenge. Rachel's plan: infiltrate Grey Falcon, find the leader, Dmitri Volkov, gather evidence, kill simple. But how to infiltrate? Rachel knew one thing: Grey Falcon only hired operators with special skills. And Rachel, Delta Force, special operations, classified missions, perfect. Rachel prepared a fake CV. Name: Sarah Voss. Background: private security, Iraq and Afghanistan. The CV: impressive enough, but not suspicious. 2 weeks later, the invitation came. Grey Falcon interview. Moscow. Rachel was going alone. No backup, no authorization. Officially, she was on leave. If she died, nobody would know. But Rachel didn't care. Jacob had been killed, and Rachel would get revenge. Moscow, Grey Falcon HQ. When Rachel entered the building, she noticed this wasn't a normal interview. 4 security guards, weapon scan, metal detector. Sarah Voss, a man asked. His name, Victor, Grey Falcon recruiter. Yes, your background is impressive, but we don't just take impressive people, we take the best. I'm the best. Victor smiled. We'll test that. Rachel was led to her room. In the room, a single chair and a man, Dmitri Volkov, mid-50s, former Spetsnaz, hard face, cold eyes. Sarah Voss, Dmitri studied her. Tell me, why do you want to be here? Rachel gave her prepared answer. Money and adrenaline in the military. Too many rules. Here, freedom. Freedom? Dmitri laughed. No, there's no freedom here. Here, only obedience. And will you obey? I will. Dmitri stood up, approached, very close, violating personal space. So, Sarah, tell me who you really are. Rachel didn't freeze. Sarah Voss. Everything's in my CV. No, Dmitri whispered. You're lying. Because I researched. Sarah Voss, real, but you are not Sarah Voss. Rachel went cold inside. Dmitri smiled. You are Rachel Kain, Major Jacob Kain's wife. And Jacob is the man I killed. Rachel moved reflexively, but too late. Security guards burst into the room. Rachel fought, took down 2 men, but the third used an electroshock device. Rachel fell to the floor, her muscles convulsed. Consciousness faded. When Rachel woke, she was chained to the ceiling. Strappado position, hands overhead, feet in the air, and Dmitri in front of her, smiling. Rachel Kain. Finally, I killed Jacob 3 months ago because he knew too much, and now you are in my hands. Rachel couldn't speak, cloth in her mouth. Now, Dmitri continued, you're going to tell me, who did Jacob report to? Who has a copy of the USB? And who did you tell? Rachel said nothing. Dmitri smiled. No problem. There's time. 9 hours in this position. Then your arms break. And you'll talk. Everyone talks. And he left the room. Strappado, medieval torture. Hands chained to ceiling. Body hanging in air. Shoulders carrying all the weight. First 30 minutes, pain. 1 hour, unbearable pain. 3 hours, hands purple, no feeling. 6 hours, shoulders about to dislocate. 9 hours, permanent damage. Rachel had been in this position for 9 hours. The pain, indescribable. Her body was screaming, let go, give up. But Rachel was Delta Force, and in Delta Force they taught, pain is temporary, quitting is forever. Rachel focused her mind elsewhere. She thought about Jacob. Jacob had loved her. Rach, you're the strongest person. Never give up. Rachel hadn't cried at Jacob's funeral because tears weren't weakness, but Rachel had saved her tears for later. Now tears were coming. Not from pain, from Jacob. And Rachel made a promise to herself. Dmitri will die tonight. Hour 8. Dmitri entered the room, water in his hand. Thirsty? He asked mockingly. Rachel couldn't speak, cloth still in her mouth. Dmitri removed the cloth. Speak. Who did Jacob report to? Rachel looked at Dmitri, hatred in her eyes. Go to hell, she said, her voice hoarse. Dmitri laughed. Ah, Rachel, you're still resisting, but your body can't resist. Look at your shoulders. They're dislocating. Indeed, Rachel's shoulders were at an abnormal angle. Dislocation was near. 1 more hour. Dmitri checked his watch. Then you'll beg me, and I will let you down. But first, you'll talk. Dmitri left the room. Rachel was alone, and she made her plan. The plan. Dmitri, overconfident. He'll unlock the chains. He'll see Rachel as broken. That moment, Rachel will attack. But how? 9 hours in chains. Arms not working. Body exhausted. Rachel knew. Arms might not work, but legs still strong. And Rachel had training in wrestling, jiu-jitsu, Muay Thai. She could choke with her legs. Just one chance. If she missed, she'd die. Hour 9, Dmitri entered the room again, this time with 2 security guards. Rachel, last chance. Talk, I'll let you down. Don't talk. 1 more hour. Rachel looked at Dmitri, and for the first time, weakness in her voice. Please. Dmitri leaned forward. What? Please, let me down. I'll tell everything. Dmitri smiled triumphantly. Finally, to the security guard. Get her down. The guard began unlocking the chains. Rachel fell to the ground, arms numb, body seemingly not working. Dmitri bent down. Now talk. Who did Jacob? Rachel moved. Rachel's arms weren't working, but her legs. Perfect. Rachel appeared to be lying on the ground, but actually, she was positioning. Dmitri bent down. Rachel wrapped her legs around Dmitri's neck. Triangle choke. Brazilian jiu-jitsu technique. Dmitri was shocked, but too late. Rachel squeezed her legs. Dmitri's carotid arteries cut off. Blood flow stopped. 8 seconds. Dmitri would lose consciousness. Seconds 1 to 2. Dmitri tried to struggle free. Seconds 3 to 4. Security guards reached for their weapons. Second 5. Rachel used Dmitri as a shield. Second 6. Security 1 fired. Bullet hit Dmitri. Second 7. Dmitri lost consciousness. Second 8. Rachel grabbed the pistol from Dmitri's belt. Seconds 9 to 10. Rachel fired at Security 1. 2 shots. Hits chest, head. Second 11. Security 1 dead. Second 12. Security 2 fired. Missed. Seconds 13 to 14. Rachel fired at Security 2. 3 shots. Hits abdomen, chest, neck. Second 15. Security 2 dead. Second 16. Rachel looked at Dmitri, still breathing. Second 17. Rachel pointed the pistol at Dmitri's head. For Jacob, she said. Second 18. Fired. Dmitri dead. Total time, 18 seconds. Rachel tried to stand. Arms still unusable. 9 hours suspended. Shoulders dislocated. But Rachel gritted her teeth. Stood up. Gun in right hand. Left arm hanging. Rachel exited the room. In the corridor, alarm, security guards running. Rachel battle mode, wounded but lethal. Corridor fight, 3 minutes, 59 seconds. Guard 3, in corridor. Rachel turned the corner. Guard 3 with AK-47. Rachel fired, but one-handed. Hit, leg. Guard 3 fell. Rachel approached. Finished with headshot. Guards 4 and 5 on stairs. 2 men together. Rachel hid behind stairwell. They, automatic fire. Rachel waited. Fire stopped. They're changing magazines. Rachel made her move. Went up. 2 shots. Guard 4 fell. Guard 5 pulled knife. Close combat. Rachel, arms unusable but legs perfect. Roundhouse kick to Guard 5's head. He fell. Rachel finished with pistol. Guard 6, main hall. Rachel reached the main hall. Guard 6 with sniper rifle. Long distance. Rachel outside pistol range. Guard 6 took aim. Rachel ran. Zigzag. Combat evasion. Guard 6 fired. Missed. Rachel closed distance. 10 meters. Guard 6 fired again. Hit Rachel's left arm. Rachel ignored the pain. 5 meters. Final move. Rachel jumped at Guard 6. Pistol to his head. Fire. Guard 6 dead. Total 6 men killed. Time 4 minutes 17 seconds. Rachel wounded, exhausted, but alive. Rachel entered Dmitri's office. Computer on. Lucky. Rachel plugged in USB, Jacob's file. Copied. But not just that, all of Dmitri's files too. Black Winter operation. All names, all bank accounts, all evidence. Rachel took the USB. But then she saw something. On the wall, a photo. Jacob. His last photo before death. Rachel took the photo. Put it in her pocket. Jacob, she whispered. It's done. I got your revenge. When Rachel exited the building, police sirens. But Rachel didn't run. Russian police arrived. Rachel, hands in the air. I'm American military, and in this building, international criminals. There's evidence inside. Police suspicious. But Rachel gave them the USB. Analyze this. Everything's there. 3 days later, NATO headquarters. Rachel was being debriefed. Captain Kain, Commander Phillips, you conducted an unauthorized operation, went to Russia, killed 6 men, and destroyed Grey Falcon HQ. Yes, sir. Why? Rachel looked at Phillips. Because they killed my husband. And you did nothing. Phillips was silent. Then, the information on the USB confirmed. Grey Falcon International Crime Organization, Black Winter Operation real. 15 NATO personnel arrested. Operation shut down. Rachel said nothing. Captain Kain, Phillips continued. Officially, you acted with indiscipline. Unofficially, you brought down a crime organization, and you got Jacob Kane's revenge, Rachel. So, what happens now? Phillips, now, you're on leave for 1 month. Medical recovery. Then, you'll return, because Delta Force needs operators like you. 1 month later, Rachel visited Jacob's grave. Jacob, she said quietly, they're dead. All of them. And their operation finished. Wind blew. Rachel smiled. I know you'd say, Rach, you broke the rules. But you know, some rules need to be broken. Rachel left the photo. Jacob's at his grave. I love you. Always. And she walked away. Rachel Kain's story spread through Delta Force. 9 hours of torture. 6 men killed alone. Instructors told young operators, what does Rachel Kain teach you? Never give up, never beg, and most importantly, if someone harms you, get revenge. But smartly, Rachel had become a legend. But Rachel didn't care, because Rachel had only done one thing. She'd gotten Jacob's revenge, and that was enough.